Hello Aquarius, how are you? Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, welcome to the channel. I am Nicole. It was lovely to have each and every one of you. So Aquarius, this is going to be your current energy. We'll see what's going on. My eyeball is apparently puffy. My allergies, I don't know where you guys are at, but my allergies are off the charts this week. Anyhow, on to other things. Aquarius, I was doing some meditating for you. Whew, you guys are getting, whether you call them uploads, downloads, in-betweens, I don't know. But this resounding energy coming off of the crown chakra is awakening, is a space of awakening you to something beyond what you thought it was. Spirit called it a new reality. You are awakening. You are transforming. I think that where you have been, you are no more. That there are new opportunities that lie ahead in the spiritual growth arena. It is not just about this 3D world. Aquarius, you guys are free thinkers to begin with. This is opening you up beyond your imagination. I got chills just talking about it. So we are going to see how that plays out for you in this reading. So Aquarius, this will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, Venus. Cross watchers, if that is you, discern the messages. Both sides discern the messages accordingly. For those of you who have liked, shared, subscribed, and commented, I appreciate each and every single one of you so very much. It helps keep the channel moving and the messages to get to those where they need to go. Remember, you're finding this message exactly as you need it to be. And for those of you who have booked personal readings with me lately too, thank you so very much. I appreciate your trust and faith in me, and I enjoy every conversation that we have. So fantastic. All right, Aquarius, let's dive into it. If you guys are interested in personal readings, remember that this is not a personal reading, but if you are interested in one that's going to dive deeper into your personal situation, that information can be found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. So, all right, Aquarius, Spirit, what does Aquarius need to know? What is their current energies? What are they learning? What is this expansion that you showed me for Aquarius, please, Spirit? All right, guys. Earth and romantic love. That's like a mix between that was Scorpio, I believe, had romantic love, and then Aries had that earth energy. So you might be dealing with a Scorpio, you might be dealing with an Aries. Let's see. The Spirit is saying it's about the signage. So yeah, either a Scorpio or an Aries. All right, Spirit, what does okay, Aquarius need to know? They're also saying don't be so evasive. All right, let's see. This allowance came coming out, or it came out in the reverse. I don't take these cards in the reverse, but I want to say to you, do not deny yourself the right to move forward. Do not deny abundance coming in. So be careful. I'm hearing be careful with your words. We're in Mercury retrograde. Communication, it's an SOB at this time, so just be cautious of that. So I'm going to read off allowance, and allowance I believe also came out for Aries too. So the frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. This energy is coming in very heavy for me, for you guys. Get out of your own way. Drop your preconceived opinion and idea. And I feel like this might be a little bit of an ass spanking in regards to this card for you guys because of it coming out in the reverse. You cannot walk into a situation with a judgment. You have to allow it to be what it is. Passing your judgment of situations onto others will only bring you more judgment in the end. Remember, we are walking into new karmic cycles, guys. So be cautious, because if you would not want, how is it said? It's coming in about like disturbed cold or something to that. I can't remember exactly how that comes in, but that's the feeling that I'm getting with this from Spirit is, you know, if you're coming off cold and evasive with judgment and opinions of another person or a situation that you do not fully understand, put yourself on the receiving end of that. Flip it into empathy. It is not having, you know, with empathy itself, and this, we're going with it, with empathy itself, it is taking ourselves, removing the ego from that, and understanding a person's experience as they are explaining to you as it was for them. It is not about your experience. It is about theirs. So very, very important to remember. Drop your judgments. Drop your opinions. Be open. You're a free thinker to begin with. Stay in that free-minded position of anything is possible. So this prosperity, allowance is a 9. Prosperity is a 9. You're almost at the end. Next comes a 10. Endings and new beginnings. Prosperity. The frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well-being by allowing the inclusion of everything that makes our mind, body, heart, soul, and spirit sing. It invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebration of the abundance and riches that the universe provides. When you free yourself up from these judgments, and you could be judging yourself and creating opinions about yourself, or even, and I believe that something came out in the meditation because I don't remember them word for word, right? But it was like you may be putting judgment on yourself as through the opinions of other people have placed on you. It's believing the conditioned ideas of what has been taught to you. It's time to step out of that. You are independently owned and operated, right? So 9-9, again, bringing those two 9s together, I think actually of the number 99 rather than adding them together. But still, if I was to add 9 and 9 is 18. You add 18, it's a 9. 999. Look it up. Look up the number. Google it. You know, look into what angel number 999 means for you. The bottom of this is coherence. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for the optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. Also, for needing to recognize the foundational energy. I'm seeing the 4 of Swords. It's a time out. It's a time of rest. It's a time of healing. It's a time of awareness, to be still and pay attention to what it is that the divine is bringing in for you, as I seen with that meditation. Again, chills all over me, confirmation of the same. You know, so it's like, allow for the universe to come in and show you, to teach you, to give the divine messages to you through this experience of whatever this might be for you. So let's see. Let's see, Spirit, what else does Aquarius need to know at this time? What else does Aquarius need to know at this time? There is nothing to regret when I learn from my past. I am one eternal light appearing as all. There you go, Aquarius. All right, what do they need to know, Spirit? What do they need to know? Boy, these cards are just flying out for you guys. Celebrating simplicity. I am more fulfilled when there is less to manage and maintain. It is 4 of Swords. Time out, right? Simplifying your life. Don't overthink processes. Illuminating the truth. I am willing to see things clearly no matter the outcome. Welcoming surrender as well. It is time to cut down on all of the chatter. It is time to disconnect from the things that are drawing you off course at this time as well. This is taking in new information and new knowledge. Things do not have to be as complicated, perhaps, as you're making them out to be. You may be decluttering at this time. You may recognize that the things that you have acquired, there's no use for them anymore. that through, it's very interesting with that allowance, the prosperity, and celebrating simplicity. It's like less is more for you at this time, or the need that less is more for you at this time. Recognizing that the material and the tangible isn't just the prosperity or the abundance, that it comes from more of a soul-based, heart space type of energy as well. There's a lot of green here, a lot of green. Center. It's like you're starting to unmask parts of yourself. Maybe somebody with their judgments and opinions, not saying that that's okay, but with their judgments and opinions have triggered or shadowed back certain things to you, that it's now requiring you to take a deeper look within. It's like pulling the mask off of maybe the idea of who you thought you were. It's almost like you're opening up to some sense of spiritual knowledge where they're asking you to just shut up, essentially, and listen. To listen to that inner voice, to listen to what you know. It's almost like you guys are in a space of needing to tame down what appears to me like fire energy, even though it's not you, right? But it's like you come out full force in everything that you do. Not saying you water down who you are to please another person, but you water yourself down to the sense that you're emotionally balanced. That there's an alchemy that needs to happen between all the elements for you. Taking in, inspired action as it needs to be. Because I'm seeing all of the aces in the tarot for you. So that inspired action, taking a little bit of that. The Ace of Pentacles, taking in a little bit of creative new opportunities and growth. The Ace of Cups, adding love to the mix to open yourself up emotionally for new abundance. And then the Ace of Swords, it is your internal truth. Or it's things being opened up and recognized to you that needs to be seen. It's speaking your truth. It's revelation of an inner knowing within you. Those things are coming to the forefront here at this time. I tell you what, the readings I've done today have been, the energy has been incredible. It really has been. And I love that for you guys. I feel like Spirit has a sense of humor today, I guess. It's funny. It's like, it's like, you're having a conversation with somebody and they just, they cover your mouth with their hand and they're like, just shush and listen to me for 1 second. Settle down and listen. And that's kind of the universe. Like, it's almost like if they could duct tape your mouth shut right now, they would, or they have, or it feels like they have, and you're being forced to listen. And it's like, at first, it's kind of like this internal struggle to shut up long enough you listen. But yet, when you do, and you start to settle into that, and you stop fighting it, it's like, oh, wait a minute, something there made sense. And it gives me this impression of being a little scared to recognize these things. But at the same time, your heart knows that that's what needs to happen. It needs to soften yourself into the emotion, to allow your brain and your head to get on the same wavelength, to take those divine messages and integrate them through the internal sources of your chakras down to the heart center. Allowing for that coherence, heart and brain coherence between the two. That coherence card that laid on the bottom. So let that divine flow happen. It's okay to not talk and just to listen. If we're talking, we're not listening. If we're talking, we're not thinking. We're just spouting out what we feel in the moment rather than truly, or what we're thinking. It's not even a feeling, it's a thinking. We're not listening. There's a very, very important aspect to settling your emotions that are fiery and off the charts, and settling yourself into a space of learning right now, okay? But yeah, Spirit wants to duct tape your mouth. Maybe you feel like someone has duct taped your mouth, you know. Discern that, you know, where it belongs. Funny, funny, funny. Oh, I talked about that Ace of Pentacles, right? There it is. The Ace of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. Some of you, your finances will be turning around. There's something, too, though, that you're not closing out when it comes to your stability and your growth. The King of Pentacles knows when to end things. He knows when the investment is not worth it anymore. Also, and I'm going to say that to you. But it's like, maybe you have reached a status already that you feel is solid. But what you're failing to see behind you is there's another opportunity around the bend. There's another opportunity that's presenting itself to you. Don't get caught up that you know so much, or that you've already done so much. And this is kind of reminding me, these cards, the way this is coming out, of Aries a little bit, that you don't think that there's room for more growth, because there absolutely is. Yes, you have built your kingdom, if that's what you want to call it, to be exactly what it is. It's stable, it's well put together. He's very focused on what he's already accomplished, but he's missing the opportunity of that new start, because he's not willing to call that for what it was. It was a season. You may be fighting to hold on to something, thinking that it's worth more than it is. This could also be an internal struggle of understanding the value of the things around you. You know, as I said about letting go of things that are, you know, no longer of use to you, or something to that effect. It's the need to recognize that by clearing our plates, we create room for new growth. We create room for new beginnings. So just pay attention to that. And understand, I will say this too, Aquarius, that the opportunities that you've sat on for so long, they have helped to create this new opportunity coming in for you. But don't get so fixated on where you are that you miss other opportunities around you. Okay? Very important to know that for Aquarius. The Nine of Cups. I love the Nine of Cups because, you know, it's about wish fulfillment. But the only thing I ever think of when I see the Nine of Cups is how tired his ass must be from sitting on that hard bench, you know? We'll see. We'll see what comes up with it. The Nine of Cups. The Six of Cups. The Knight of Cups. Cups, cups, cups. I said about opening up to that emotion, right? Some of you may be ridding yourself of something when it comes to like a childhood home. You know, it's like your community that you had built around you that was quite comfortable. But something new is being offered to you. That 9 and that 6 is the duality, the yin, the yang, the masculine, the feminine, the light, the dark, right? I think that whatever you had served you very well for some time, but it's like you're tired of sitting on it. So it's making sure that you're allowing this change to occur for you. You may be fighting with some memories of certain things, the nostalgia or the idea of, maybe they are childhood things, maybe they are things from your children, from your home, you know, things to that effect. So it's kind of like you're taking the emotion of certain things and really sitting with it, trying to decide. And that may be that little bit of like, kind of reminds me of the Four of Cups with that King of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, is you're very fixated on certain aspects and not where it's going to require, you know, where you're freeing up that energy from the past, that you're being presented with new opportunities and growth in that sense. So it's beautiful energy. I want to say your finances to me too are also looking well. Like you're really good at nurturing those. Nurture the heart space though too, okay? Nurture things moving forward for Aquarius, please, Spirit. What else does Aquarius need to know? It's hard to lay down the past. That 10 of Wands in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it's hard to lay down the past when you have an emotional connection to it. I'm also going to say that as you're going through whatever, 7 of Cups, cups for you guys, that when you're going through these things, you almost may feel kind of get this sense of a little bit with that nostalgia, that lacking. Like at some point in your life, those things that meant something became, Spirit is saying the word nothing, but I would call it, it was almost like a disconnect, like maybe for a time period for like 10 years, those things were so very important. And then you kind of tucked them away when maybe things got sour, is how it feels. And it was like, well, yeah, they mean something, but I don't want to look at these because it makes me feel pain too. Does that make sense? So it's like, I'll just tuck these memories away. It'd be kind of like the same thing as like an old blanket. Maybe your mother or grandmother made for you and you tucked it away in the closet, you know, when they passed because it was too hard to leave laying across the back of the couch kind of thing. So it was like, well, I'm certainly not going to get rid of it, but I'm going to put it away so it's not in my face. So now as you're cleaning things out, here comes that blanket, and it's like a longing and a missing maybe of grandma or mom or, you know, whoever would have done, you know, made something or done something to that effect, or however it fits for you, right? So it's like it's bringing up this past loving memory, and it's just like, I'm going to sit on this and I'm not sure what I want to do with it. And it's almost like a little bit of a Two of Swords, a little bit of indecisiveness as to what to do with it. But I also think that internally with this Seven of Cups in reverse, there's a knowing that two things. It leaves you feeling in more of a lack in one way. It's like mixed emotions. And then there's this other side that just wants to let go. Okay? So discern that for you specifically as it needs to. The Knight of Swords in reverse with the Empress underneath. Spirit is saying there's a needing within you to feel the sense of home. Some of you may be rebuilding a home with somebody or trying to work things out. I'm also going to say some of you may be going through a divorce as well. But it's like a long-awaited thing. It's like we spent 25 years together. We haven't loved each other in a very long time, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I've always heard people, even through my own divorce, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I'm like, well, hell, I'm not. Because if it didn't work, why would you be sorry to walk away from something that wasn't working to your, you know, to anybody's benefit, not just mine, but to anybody's. So it's kind of like that sort of energy there too. The Knight of Swords, downside to him. He can tend to seem aggressive and hostile. In my opinion, his communication is not so swell. But I feel like this is reflected back internally, or if you have someone who's passed away, I'm getting a lot of that over there, the other side energy with this reading, that you may have anger and emotions that sit with some of those memories. So they could be bittersweet of what you're getting at this time. Maybe they left you a little scarred, a little battered, a little bruised somehow. So it's even like if you spent 20 years in a house and you've raised your kids in that home, and you know, maybe you're now going through a divorce, there's good and bad memories. That's really kind of how it feels for me. But I also think that you may be looking at this, the time has taken its course. With that Empress underneath there, like you have obtained a very beautiful knowledge throughout this life that's put you in that Empress position, right? She is the nurturer. She is the giver of life. You're moving on. 10 of Cups, the Queen of Cups, the Empress. You're going to move on to something far more loving and nurturing. Those cups, Aquarius, I don't think I've ever seen so many cups for you guys ever in any of the readings I've ever done. You're moving on to something that's emotionally based, that's going to feel good to you. And I think that's important, but it's kind of like this anger or this aggression, this frustration of the confusion from the past is still lingering. And with Mercury in retrograde, to see those feelings coming up right now, I'm not surprised. The things that we haven't dealt with, and then too with the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse coming up in May, you know, we're being called to heal those wounds. You know, Chiron's playing a part in this too. He is the wounded, right? So it's really asking you to free yourself up to new beginnings. To, it's okay to take the past and shrink it down, accepting it, resolving it, appreciating it for what it was, but then coming back to yourself to gain clarity and balance so that you can finally, for so many of you, finally open up emotionally on an emotional level. And I think during the meditation when Spirit said, it's like you're enlightening, you're coming to a space of enlightenment, that it's going to transform your world. It's never going to be the same again. You're not going to see yourself the same. This is part of it. It's closing the door to a past that is no longer a part of your future. It's resolving those old wounds. Any confusion that sat there, anything that felt empty and just deflated, it's no more for you. Okay? All right, Aquarius, let's do a little bit of clarifying for you guys. Interesting reading. All right. I talked about that pain, right? That nostalgia. There it is, that Three of Swords. I think you've held on to the material world because that's where you found your stability. That's where you could see things flourishing. It doesn't matter what area of the tangible it was, but that's where you held on to it because you just, to open up to new ways, new opportunities meant that you were going to have to go back to this pain somehow. It puts you in a place of vulnerability that I don't think you didn't think you were ready for, right? And it was like, no, we're just going to avoid this, make the magic happen through the tangible, and step outside of our emotions. Yeah, you kept those emotions at a distance. That was the way to move on from those emotions, stepping into the tangible. It was a very calculated maneuver on your part, I'll give you that. There's that King of Pentacles again. I talked about the Four of Swords, the Six of Cups. It's all right there. I talked about the Four of Cups. Using it as a distraction. There it is. You can't make it up. All right there. All those cards right there say exactly what I just said to you. You manipulated your own emotions to step outside of things so you didn't have to feel the disappointments tied to whatever was the past. And I'm going to say this, though. There were good and bad, and I think that's where you're seeing it as a disappointment, because at some point it felt so good and then it turned so bad. Okay? And you think about this. We cannot experience pain without love or love without pain. We have to love to know what loss is. We experience pain so we learn the lessons through love itself so that we can transform that energy. So it was like, if I keep this at a distance by buying, doing, giving to myself, building up this life around me, then I don't have to feel disappointment, pushing those emotions away, pushing away the hurt and the pain of the past. That maybe, you built your own idea of stability, you built your own emotional happiness with this Nine of Cups, based off of taking certain things from the past into the present forward with you. And it worked. Okay, I won't deny you the fact that it worked. But the problem with that is this Mother of Cups to me, this Queen of Cups, she's very different. Because in this, she's covering her cup. In the Queen of Cups in the original tarot deck, she's holding her cup and she's admiring it. In this deck, she's covering over her cup. She's protecting her cup, right? A little different energy there. But you were protecting the emotional space. You weren't going to communicate about it to anybody because that would be uncomfortable too, right? The duality. I talked about the duality. As I'm saying these things, I'm sitting on this 9 and the 6 of Cups. That 9 and that 6, the duality, the yin, the yang, the masculine, the feminine, the light, the dark. Trying to protect yourself. This Mother of Cups comes out on top of the 9 of Cups. She's protecting those cups. She's protecting that 10th cup. Not quite to that 10, but that's 10 of Cups. To her, or him, however you want to explain it. Tarot knows no gender, essentially. That became your 10 of Cups by yourself. very solitary energy. It's like, I've created this spark all by myself. I'm not giving it away. I'm not going to give it to somebody else. What is the Six of Cups about? Yeah, Page of Swords. Not communicating it. There's that Two of Swords I talked about in the reverse. You're not going to share that with anybody else, because if you do, that puts you in a vulnerable state. So the correction to the indecision is to not make a decision at all and just stay put where you've been for so long. Gemini, the Lovers, the choice. I just talked about the choice. Gemini and the Lovers card isn't just romanticized, right? That's also about choice. It was a choice, a conscious choice that you made to keep the past at bay, to not talk about it, not bring it up, and it kept you stuck in a cycle. You can't have new beginnings when you keep your shit on repeat. It's kind of like, you know, the old records, and they got a scratch on them. It's the same thing. That's what it was like. So to stay out of that, you just built your foundations. You built the tangible. You built maybe a facade of happiness. And the disconnected part of you back then worked with that pretty well. But now, as you're coming into the state of enlightenment, you're opening up, it's changing. You can't be in a space of spirit, be in a space of spiritual awakening, be in a space of spiritual understanding, even at that, and stay connected to this type of energy, because it's going to require you to feel. So now that you have to feel and you're finding yourself opening up, it can tend to be a little scary, because now it's kind of like a split decision between the two of, do I address the past, or do I stay and keep my ass that's tired and flat and sore from sitting on this bench for so long? Do I keep it here? A little bit of stubborn energy attached to that, to readdress the things that are coming to the surface. And the more you go through this spiritual awakening, you're going to have to sort through those things. They're not going to go away, because if you don't, you're going to keep repeating. All right, what is this Seven Cups? The Empress again. I'll tell you what, that Empress, man, she's been coming out hot and heavy today. The Hierophant. Communication. This is spiritual communication coming in for you. Just like I've said about the meditation. You're being nurtured. You're being called to a higher knowledge of the self. You know, you may be going to somebody to communicate. Well, you need to communicate. Let me rephrase on that one. The need to communicate what it is that you're experiencing to help resolve these issues with the frustration and any anger from the past. And usually I see owls as messengers, as wise, as very discerning and discreet. You know, they come out at night to hunt. But this owl, for whatever reason, just came forward to me and said, you know, they can be a representation of death as well. I'm not trying to scare anybody, so be cautious there. But to me, it's like somebody's coming in with a message for you that's it's like you're refusing to hear the message. Very interesting. Hello, sir. Can I help you? Come on. We have company. Here he is. Okay. Say hi to everybody. All right. So they're coming in with this communication, this forward movement to help you move forward. I don't know. It's like they're coming in, interesting, right? The Eight of Wands is either fast movement forward or communication, right? Typically. The way I see this is your angels and guides are up here. They're sending that lightning bolt of awakening down to the earth for you. So this could be a passed over loved one coming in and trying to help you awaken to various things, right? They're coming in. They're coming in very heavily, sending this bolt to you going, hey, it's time to wake up. There's no more laying in the darkness. There is no more sitting in this. It's time to recharge and reset. That's how I see that. And then with the Hierophant and the Empress sitting there, you have mastered, cultivated, nourished, brought in everything that you could where you sat for so long. There's that Hierophant, that higher knowledge, that higher purpose, that spiritual, guru or spiritual advice, the heavens coming in. He is the Pope in the traditional tarot deck. There are spiritual lessons here that are happening for you, not against you, for you. They are the keys of wisdom and the keys of knowledge. 5. Remember, the Hierophant is the number 5. It is change. May is probably going to be a very big month of awakening. And granted, this isn't the May reading, and I'll do those. And we'll address it again, right? But that 5 is change. And I'd say somewhere between March and May. Got a lot of 3s here, too. March and May. So 333 and 999 we talked about earlier, right? Could be those very significant periods of change for you, where you're starting to come into this awakening, and by May it's going to be like kaboom. It may feel a little bit like a tower moment to you because it's so new. It's shocking, it's groundbreaking, it's evolutionary, it changes you. I don't think you'll ever be the same after this. They're working to get you unstuck. They're working to move you into that cup energy. They're working on you to open your heart space. Spirit just said for forgiveness. So maybe if you felt wronged or left or abandoned or something to that effect, they're working on you to unstick you at the end of the day. The one thing I think you fail to understand is that through the brashness of where you've been, what got neglected was the love. And they really want you to recognize that, yes, you did your pentacles, you did all of that, but what comes with that is the emotion behind it. Letting go of the emotion. Maybe it worked for a little bit. You could focus your energy elsewhere. But for the long term, that's not sustainable. They want to open you up and bring in these healing aspects. But you have to be willing to allow it. I think for a very long time, you stopped allowing that. Like, when you let that happen, and you take your prosperity and your physical and financial abundance, and then you couple it with love, that's the most important thing. That love never dies, right? The financial stuff, the money, the tangible, they all go away. You can't take them with you. But what lives within your soul, it lives on forever. And I think that's the very important thing here to recognize and realize. Okay? So it's time to not be so brash about everything. It's time to open yourself up to a more loving approach to the things that you're doing. Oh, he is massive. Say hi. Say hello to the world of YouTube. Okay, go on. He's needy. Very needy. Alrighty. Advice for Aquarius, please, Spirit. Advice for Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know? What is their advice, please? Shuffle, note me, Spirit. What does Aquarius need to know? What does Aquarius? What's the advice for Aquarius? Alright, let's see. This is the Kuan Yin deck that I'm using. I'm just going to say this to you. I did a reading the other day for myself, actually, for a change. The threshold came out. There have been 2 other signs that I've done today. And right smack in the middle, I'm pretty sure it was 2 other ones, the threshold came out. The past, the present, the future. That threshold is like sitting in a doorway, waiting for you to cross over, waiting for you to make that move. It's a call to what is a new home. Take it. If you continue to do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. You want love and abundance? Get a little softer. You want happiness? Laugh a little more. You want love? Open yourself up to it. I feel like there's a need for a very serious conversation when it comes to this for you guys. It's like when I read, my body tends to embody the energy that needs to be addressed within your world. It's really weird. It's kind of like it takes over. And it's almost like, we'll call this a reality check. Okay? Reveal the peacock beauty. The peacock is stunning in graceful and proud display. You too are great beauty. Within you resides a glorious being of light with an ability to create. Your intentions, decisions, and particularly your words are becoming more powerful. Enjoy wise use of your creative power to express the beauty within you, asking for divine blessings upon your plans, projects, and words. I talked about that communication, the lack thereof. I don't think you recognize what lives within you. You're just kind of hanging on to the pain of the past. Okay? The threshold. At the threshold you stand. Before you lies a way of being that is beyond fear. It is a sacred passing through a karmic veil into a new life of empowerment, peace, and unconditional love. You are coming home to love. What did I say? I feel like those exact words came out of my mouth before I laid these down. I will say this to you. Go back and rewind this video maybe 5 minutes. I think those exact same words came out of my mouth. I would bet dollars to donuts. You cannot make it up. You can't. You guys, I make it a point, even if you can't see all the cards laid out, so that you can see me shuffle. Verbatim. Every time. Dance of the Butterfly Queen. A pure heart attracts divine grace, and that which was impossible becomes possible. From caterpillar to winged creature of delight, you cannot restrain what divine grace ordains, no matter how incredible it may seem to be. Whatever has been troubling you or whatever has been inspiring you, allow grace to infuse the situation or dream so that it may unfold with divine perfection. It wants to transform you, Aquarius. That heart space is so important to open up that heart space. You guys got so many cups and pentacles on the table. This is an awakening for you. Don't be rigid with it. It's time to start to settle yourself. I kind of want to go look in the mirror and ask yourself if you're being cold in how you express your words. Or was it about the words? Your intentions, decisions, and particularly your words are becoming more powerful. So with that, I just kind of want to go make sure the words that are coming out of your mouth are kind, compassionate, and loving. Not harsh. Not cold. Don't take the pain of the past or even of current situations and infuse them into your world by coldness. Find the diplomatic way to say what you need to say in a loving way. Because remember, what you put out there, you're attracting back. You're starting a new karmic cycle. Attract good things back to you. be the ripple effect for the world around you for good things. Aquarius, I hope this resonated for you. If it did, feel free to like the video, subscribe, share, comment. Again, if you guys are interested in personal readings, that information can be found in the description box below, as well as the About section of the page. You can also visit our website at holisticallyzenwv.com. You're going to find store product information and things like that, like some of these pretty little bracelets and stuff that we get. That's some root tile, golden root tile there. Lots of stuff to be had on the website, more information about myself and others that of all the things that we do. But again, if you found this resonated for you, please hit all of those wonderful buttons. That way you're going to get notifications each time a new video gets posted. Aquarius, heed the advice. Very important to heed that advice. New beginnings are going to come in for you. Be ready to receive. All right. All right. I'm wishing you guys so much love, light, and happiness. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.